How did it happen that a boy from a small village turned into one of the greatest geniuses in history? It all started with childhood, full of oddities that for many might seem a sign of insanity. But for Tesla, they were the beginning of his genius path. Nikola Tesla saw the world differently than the rest of us from a very young age. When he looked at objects, he had vivid hallucinations, so real that he could see things that did not yet exist. As a very young child, he not only visualized new inventions in his head, but literally saw them in front of him. For example, a mechanism that his future colleagues would take months to build from blueprints, he built, in his imagination, in a few minutes. His mind worked like a superpowered computer. Tesla's obsession with science manifested itself everywhere, even in his dreams. He believed he could control his dreams and use this to create new ideas. Tesla would wake up with ready-made inventions in his head. Nikola considered dreams to be a real tool for his creativity, which may sound fantastic to many, but for him it was a real way to solve complex problems. Some say it was his curse to be obsessed with his visions. He slept only 2 hours a day, devoting the rest of his time to his work. Already at a young age, he was considered strange and even dangerous. But that was only the first step on the way to making discoveries that changed the world. What happened next? Watch on and you'll find out how Tesla blew up the world of electricity and how his ideas almost led to the destruction of entire cities. Have you ever heard of a real war over electricity? It's not fiction, but a real-life struggle between two geniuses, Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. Both invented different systems of transmitting electricity. Edison was in favor of direct current, and Tesla was in favor of alternating current. This was the beginning of a real war where the stakes were huge, the future of the world. Edison wanted to prove that Tesla's system was dangerous, and he stopped at nothing to do so. One of his most shocking methods was the public execution of animals using alternating current. He killed cats, dogs, and even elephants in front of people to show that Tesla's technology was deadly. It was so cruel and inhumane that many people couldn't believe Edison could do such a thing to win. But Tesla didn't give up. His chance to prove his point came at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. Millions of people came to see the achievements of science, and it was Tesla with his alternating current system that literally lit up the entire exhibition. Edison was unable to do anything to counter this spectacle, and it became his defeat. Behind the scenes, however, this confrontation was not so obvious. Edison was a famous businessman and knew how to attract money, whereas Tesla often neglected money for the sake of his ideas. In the end, although his alternating current won and became the basis of modern energy, Tesla himself received neither money nor fame in his time. But how did he come up with his greatest ideas? Could Tesla see into the future? And what does he have in common with today's smartphones? Imagine a world where electricity can be transmitted through the air like a Wi-Fi signal. No wires, no outlets, and all for free. Nikola Tesla dreamed of this and even started building a special tower to make his idea a reality. He wanted every person on the planet to be able to use energy without paying a penny for it. But what went wrong? Why was his dream never realized? Tesla found an influential investor, John Pierpont Morgan, one of the wealthiest men of the time. Morgan initially agreed to finance the construction of the famous Tesla Tower. But once he learned that Tesla wanted to give away electricity for free, his support suddenly stopped. Morgan realized that this would wipe out all his income from energy sales. Not surprisingly, the project was shut down and Tesla was left without funds. What if it wasn't just about money? Many believe that even today, energy companies are preventing Tesla's dream from becoming a reality because it would destroy their business. After all, if electricity becomes free, who will pay for utilities? Tesla's ideas were ahead of their time, but they scare those who control our power grid. Could Tesla have changed the world even more if he had been allowed to realize his plans? What happened to Tesla's blueprints after his death? Why did many of his designs disappear into obscurity? Secret experiments, Tesla's legendary weapons that could destroy entire armies. What if one man could create a weapon capable of destroying entire armies and even toppling governments? Nikola Tesla claimed to have developed a device that could do just that. He called it a death ray. This weapon, he said, could destroy airplanes, tanks, and entire cities with a single shot. But why didn't anyone want to use it? Tesla offered his invention to various countries, but all refused. At the time, Tesla's technology seemed too dangerous and unpredictable. The fear of possible consequences was so great that the government was afraid to even start testing. Some considered him a genius, others a madman, but no one could deny that his ideas were revolutionary and could change the balance of power in the world. After Tesla's death, something strange happened. The FBI seized all his papers and blueprints. What were they hiding? Why was the US government in such a hurry to get its hands on his work? There are still rumors that some of his research continues to be used for military purposes. Perhaps his death ray is still being developed in secret laboratories somewhere. But what could this weapon be? And why was it so frightening to the powers that be? How can a man who changed the world die in complete poverty and loneliness? Nikola Tesla, whose discoveries formed the basis of modern electricity, passed away unnoticed. He spent his last years in a cheap hotel room in New York City with virtually no one to care for him. When he died, his body was not found until days later. The genius who once lit up the World's Fair and wowed the world with his ideas went quietly and without fame. Despite this tragic end to his life, Tesla's legacy lives on to this day. Many of his inventions, such as alternating current, are used everywhere, and his ideas for wireless power transmission and even perpetual motion continue to inspire scientists around the world. It was Tesla who originated modern technology that he dreamed of, but never saw realized. Even more amazingly, his last work was on the perpetual motion machine, a machine that could produce infinite energy. Had this device been created, it could have changed our lives forever, freeing humanity from dependence on fuel and the electrical grid. But these notes mysteriously disappeared after his death. Why did his ideas go unclaimed for so long? Perhaps Tesla was too far ahead of his time, and the world just wasn't ready to embrace his vision. Even decades later, his dreams and inventions continue to inspire scientists, engineers, and people around the world. But what if Tesla's writings about the perpetual motion machine are found? How would our lives change if his ideas suddenly became a reality? We can only guess.